In a year like no other, Formula One produced some enthralling stories. Records were broken and history was made. So let's look back at the biggest stories of the 2020 season. After a delayed start due to the COVID-19 pandemic, racing returned at the Red Bull Ring in July. Mercedes looked set for a 1-2 finish until a late race overtake from Alex Albon saw him collide with Lewis Hamilton. The British driver would receive a penalty for the incident, giving McLaren's Lando Norris a chance to claim his first podium in Formula One.
Hamilton is 6.5 ahead. He also has a 5-second penalty.
Chaos and carnage at times, and Lando Norris gets on the podium for the first time in Formula One.
0.2 seconds was the gap between Norris and Hamilton after the penalty was applied, putting Lando into the history books as the 20-year-old became the third youngest driver to stand on an F1 podium.
Yeah, boy! Yes! Lando came through to steal a podium right at the end. What a great race.
It felt amazing. One of my dreams come true. A lot of hard work, dedication, sacrifices, all paying off in that first race of the season.
At Silverstone, Lewis Hamilton was searching for his 7th British Grand Prix win. After clinching pole, he gapped teammate Bottas and looked set for victory. But late drama saw his teammate fall down the order with a front left puncture, and soon after, the same thing happened to Hamilton.
I think something happened to my left eye also.
And Hamilton is winning the Grand Prix, but look at the state of that Mercedes car.
Hamilton's got a puncture ahead. He's slow at turn 9.
Who is slow?
Hamilton, puncture turn 12.
Can we win this?
If you get on with it. And 9 seconds to Verstappen. 7 seconds to Verstappen.
Is that the last lap?
That's it, mate. You've done it. You've done it.
Well, that's it, mate.
That was close. Wow, that was close, guys.
Yeah, I was about to say the same, mate. No, it's a close call. Too close for comfort.
Oh, mate.
He's a lucky boy. He's a lucky boy.
A record-breaking 7th home Grand Prix victory, the most wins of any driver at their home race. After failing to find a seat for 2020, Nico Hülkenberg marked an incredible return to the Formula One paddock to fill in for his former teammate Sergio Perez at the British Grand Prix, after the Mexican tested positive for COVID-19. Less than 24 hours after receiving the call, the German headed to the track and got to grips with the racing point in no time, qualifying 13th fastest and only missing out on Q3 by less than a tenth of a second. But a power unit issue on Sunday morning cut his comeback short, forcing the team to pull the car out before the race had even started. Heartbreak for Hulk, but with Perez still recovering, he'd get a second shot 5 days later at the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, and was determined to make the most of it. A remarkable performance saw him beat teammate Lance Stroll by 0.4 of a second, and would see him start alongside Max Verstappen on the second row of the grid.
Hülkenberg crossed the line, goes P3!
Wow!
Yeah! Get in there, racing point. Nice one.
Hopes of a maiden podium were quickly dashed as he struggled to maintain tyre life, but he still came home a more than creditable 7th.
Given all circumstances, very happy to be standing here with 6 points, to be honest.
And his incredible comeback story wasn't over yet, as he stepped in again at the Nürburgring with just 4 hours' notice, when Stroll was also taken ill with the coronavirus. This time he put in a storming drive in the race, fighting from 20th on the grid to 8th position and winning Driver of the Day.
Great job, Nico. Great job. P8. P8.
Oh, jeepers. Well, thank you, guys. That was a bunch of fun.
The 2020 Italian Grand Prix was one of the craziest F1 races to date. What looked set to be another comfortable win for Hamilton soon became a pandemonium of crashes, safety cars and finally a red flag that set up a remarkable end to the race. With Hamilton having to serve a 10-second stop-go penalty for pitting when the pit lane was closed, Pierre Gasly had the speed to go for the win, but Carlos Sainz was right behind and desperate to secure his first F1 victory.
It's going all the way down to the wire. We're going to get a first-time winner here in Formula One. Pierre Gasly wins the Italian Grand Prix. Oh my, is that just wonderful?
Oh my God! What did you do?
What did you do?
You do it! You did it! Oh my God! Oh my God, guys, we did it again! Oh my God, yes!
P1, Pierre! P1!
We just won the race.
I think you're the first French winner since 1996.
I've got no words. I have no words, and you know, this team have done so much for me. They gave me my first opportunity in F1, they gave me my first podium. Now they are giving me my first win.
Michael Schumacher's record of 91 Formula One wins had, for so long, looked unmatchable. But after years of consistent success and incontestable talent, Lewis Hamilton arrived at the Eiffel Grand Prix with the record firmly in his sights.
It's win number 91. The record is equalled. Schumacher and Hamilton, the most successful drivers of all time. Two drivers that have dominated their respective eras in the sport and are now joined at 91 wins apiece.
We have something that I think will be fitting of recognising this special moment. So if you look to your left, Mick Schumacher, Michael's son, is going to present you with one of Michael's helmets.
Congratulations, and this is from behalf of all of us. Yeah, great achievement, really.
I'm honoured, man.
Renault had targeted a return to the podium in 2020. And with a blistering drive at the Nürburgring, Daniel Ricciardo took the team's first podium in 9 years.
Is that a podium, boys? Is that a podium?
That's a podium. Yeah, nice shot, mate. Woo!
It's a podium, Daniel. Thank you.
Mega, man, mega.
Oh, wow. Enjoy this one, guys. Enjoy it.
Still got your boots on, so you didn't fancy a shoey?
Oh, mate, this is really bad. I forgot all about it.
Just 2 races later, the Australian would return to the podium after holding off Danny Kvyat in the charging AlphaTauri.
Awesome, mate.
Holy mac and cheese balls. That's another podium.
This time, he wouldn't forget his famous ritual, sharing a shoey with Lewis Hamilton.
We shared one today. It was majestic, and I think it was 3 years ago on the podium. He said he will never ever drink out of my shoe, and 2020, strange things are happening.
Lewis Hamilton had the chance to break the all-time win record at the first Portuguese Grand Prix since 1996, held at the spectacular Portimão circuit in the Algarve. Mixed conditions on track caused chaos from the start, with Hamilton briefly falling to 3rd place. But with increased confidence as his tyres warmed up, he went on to retake the lead and never looked back, pulling over 25 seconds on his teammate by the flag to make history.
The record is broken. Lewis Hamilton wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula One history.
Get in there, Lewis. What a race, mate. You are rewriting the history books. Well done, mate. What a fantastic job today. Really awesome.
Lewis, 92. 92.
Wow, guys. I naturally couldn't have done this without all of you. Thank you so much for continuing to believe in me, continuing to strive for perfection. It's such an honour to work with you guys. Thank you.
And you, Lewis, a real honour. It is a real honour, genuinely.
92 Formula One victories. Extraordinary. What does that mean to you?
It's going to take some time for it to fully sink in, but you know, I was still pushing flat out coming across the line, so I'm still very much in race mode mentally, but I owe all to these guys here and back at the factory for just their tremendous work.
Formula One returned to Turkey for the first time since 2011, where the recently resurfaced track at Istanbul Park promised to mix up the running order. But when rain showed up on Saturday, Racing Point ousted Mercedes as the team to beat, and were able to switch on their tyres better than anyone. Sergio Perez took provisional pole first, but then teammate Lance Stroll lit up the timing screens.
Here comes Lance Stroll. Purple through the middle sector, personal best in the first sector. Can he dislodge his teammate Sergio Perez from pole position? Stroll crosses the line, and he does go pole. 1:47.7. Lance Stroll is on pole for the first time in his career.
The Racing Point came alive, didn't they, in this session?
That's it, P1, P1.
Yes, boys! Let's go! Let's go! Yes!
I'm so happy right now. You know, I really put that lap together there at the end. I was under a lot of pressure. I just nailed pretty much every corner and you know, pieced it together nicely, and it's such a great way to bounce back after a few rough weeks. Since Mugello, really, it's been a rough ride for me, so it feels good.
An impeccable season had already seen Lewis Hamilton break multiple records, but a stunning drive through the field on race day in Turkey in the most challenging of conditions was a fitting way for the greatest driver of his generation to equal the biggest record in Formula One's history books.
Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Thank you so much, guys. That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
He can enjoy this moment. He can take it all in. Lewis Hamilton, 264 Grand Prix starts, 94 race wins, 97 pole positions, and 7 world championships.
We dreamed of this as when we were young, and when I was young, when we were watching the Grand Prix, and this is way, way beyond our dreams. And I think it's so important for kids out there to hopefully see this, dream the impossible and speak it into existence. And you've got to work for it, you've got to chase it, and you've got to never give up and never doubt yourself.
Formula One and the FIA's relentless push for safety has transformed the sport over recent years. But as the drivers took the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix, the scale of these improvements would be seen firsthand.
Now this is after turn 3, and you see Grosjean, one car out there, and then Grosjean to the right-hand side. Just going straight.
Torn the car in half. No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel was in the middle of the car. That's extraordinary. Yeah.
It's just the car.
It's gone through the barrier, you see. The car's gone through the barrier, and that's then been sort of used as a wrench, as it were, to literally rip the car in half.
Well, there's Romain Grosjean.
Unbelievable.
Astounding work from the FIA's medical team, marshals, and of course Grosjean himself allowed him to escape the flames with only burns to his hands.
All my muscle relaxes, almost in peace with myself. Very, very strange feeling, you know. I think, you know, sometimes we are close to death, we're a bit scared. This time death for me was here. I thought about my kids and I said, no, I cannot die today. For my kids, I cannot die. I've got to see them.
And 4 days later, he was able to return to the paddock for an emotional reuniting with the marshals and medical team that had put their lives on the line to rescue him.
You were the man that crossed the road?
Yes.
I'm okay. I mean, I'm in pain, yes. I would say I'm I'm happy to be alive, happy to see you, happy to talk to you, happy to meet people, just happy to breathe air, to be here.
Lewis Hamilton's positive COVID-19 test following his win in Bahrain meant he would miss the Sakhir Grand Prix, with Williams' George Russell, a driver under Toto Wolff's management, the chosen one to step into his shoes in what would become a career-defining challenge. And in an unfamiliar car, too small for him, he grabbed the opportunity with both hands, setting the pace in practice and pushing teammate Valtteri Bottas to the limit in qualifying.
Now George Russell has just gone a tenth faster than Valtteri Bottas through the middle sector. He is finding pace as Bottas crosses the line, aces the final sector, can't improve on his time though. Can George Russell get a pole position in Formula One? He misses out by such a slender margin, only 2/100ths of a second.
If you told me last week I'll be qualifying P2 on the grid next week, I think I wouldn't believe you.
On race day, Russell got the perfect start, catapulting past his teammate and into the lead at turn 1 before leading with a remarkable maturity. But a late crash for his replacement at Williams, Jack Aitken, brought out the safety car, and Mercedes chose to pit both cars.
The front right tyre was slow, and for Valtteri Bottas, even more confusion for a crew that are normally very,
they're not
very
happy
adept.
with the left front. They're not happy with his left front.
Okay, George, we're going to need to box. We have a mixed tyre set on the car.
Oh no!
Basically, what's happened is they've got some of Bottas's tyres on, or indeed all of Bottas's tyres on.
Russell's race had turned upside down. But masterful overtakes, including one on his teammate, got him again to the verge of scoring an F1 victory, before drama struck him once again.
Looks like a rear left puncture.
George Russell
Bono
coming
on the
in.
phone. I thought it was Bono speaking. George.
So Russell's coming in now. It's another pit stop. Puncture for George Russell, obviously.
I don't know what to say. No, sharing your feelings there, mate. Let's just get your head down.
He would fight back again to earn his first points in Formula One and the fastest lap. But this was little consolation when the win was within touching distance.
Guys, I don't know what to say. I was taken away from us twice. Honestly, it's been a pleasure and I've loved it, and honestly, I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, but we'll get this opportunity again. I hope we get this opportunity again.
With only 2 races to go, and his future in F1 hanging by a thread, Sergio Perez took to the grid of the Sakhir Grand Prix, ready to once again show his worth. But it all came undone on lap 1.
Look up there as Perez is caught by Charles Leclerc, and his 3 cars gone off at turn 4.
Yeah, I got hit there badly.
Okay, Checo, box. So listen, Leclerc and Verstappen are out of this race. A lot can happen in this race, as we said before.
What followed was one of the most remarkable recoveries in the history of the sport. A late safety car saw others around him flounder, and when Russell's charge was halted by a puncture, the Mexican was finally in to secure his first ever Formula One victory in his 10th season.
The man who was in last place at the end of lap 1 comes home to win the Sakhir Grand Prix. Sergio Perez, wow, what a race for him and for Racing Point.
Yes, Checo, P1. Yes.
I'm speechless, guys.
Grown men and women in absolutely floods of tears while all jumping around, bouncing up and down in their pink fire suits. Absolutely fantastic scenes down here.
What a season we're having. What a season of Formula One we're having.
I'm a bit speechless. I hope I'm not dreaming, because I dreamed so many years being in this moment. 10 years it took me.